Very dramatic. Let's do this. Okay. Alright. I'm looking forward to seeing what the deal is. Oh, there we go.
Let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial. The objective here is simple. Explain how the murder took place.
I'm assuming that, like default Danganronpa, the characters will probably talk for the most part here, which will save me having to potentially knacker my throat in. But I'm also curious what sort of mini-games this might have. If it'll have just clones of default Danganronpa minigames, if it'll have any minigames at all, or whether it'll have its own stuff. Maybe.
Using evidence you've gathered during the investigation, you will argue what you believe happened to the victim. Should you all agree on the right answer, you will be free to leave this place.
What?
Should you all agree on the wrong answer, well, you'll find out.
Okay, he's being much more sinister about it. I mean, Monokuma in default Danganronpa was always very just outright and overt. Get the wrong answer, you're all dead. Except for the person who did the killing. Tozu, what have you got up your sleeve?
That's all there is to it. Have fun, everybody.
He hasn't shown up yet. He and Mara still have not appeared in the flesh. Maybe they're going to appear at the end of the trial.
Somebody, get me out of here.
If this is something we must discuss, I know a good place to start.
Get me out of here, 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 get me out of here!
Okay, Grace, it's a bit too soon to be having a Chapter 3 culprit-style breakdown, please.
Somebody get me out of here!
He's gonna really play with you if you're gonna be like that. Oof.
What happened to her? Oh shit! They fried her brain!
From her wrist.
Calm down, it's only a shock. She won't suffer any permanent side effects.
That's not very reassuring, but okay.
If I wanted to see the brain dead bigger, I'd just turn on the telly.
True, there's a lot of shit out there on TV. Tozu, you and me relate.
On that note, please, carry on.
Holy shit, the people who run this thing aren't playing around.
As you were saying, Wolfgang?
Right. The way I see it, the objective of this
By the way, can I get like a seat with this thing?
Oh god dang it, now's not the time, buddy.
I'm just gonna be an onlooker. It's only fair.
You're seriously not going to contribute?
What am I even supposed to do?
Put your detective hat on, buddy! We're here to solve a mystery!
Yeah, who murdered that dummy chick, right?
Not who murdered her, how they murdered her.
Did that tablet not explain it?
It listed her wounds, yes, but it didn't explain how they were inflicted.
Probably because it's so obvious.
Will it be obvious? Or will there be some twist?
But, Miss
We'll see.
Amber, you didn't even read the tablet.
And I don't have to!
Would you look at that? A debate's already underway.
Well, good to hear you seem to be enjoying this. You doing alright, Grace? Nah, you're not doing right at all. These guys are clearly confused. I need to stop them before they arrive at the wrong conclusion. Oh gosh, do you hear that? Here comes the tutorial. Man, voice, woman, person, whoever it is. That's the sound of a non-stop debate approaching. Oh boy. Oh my god, they've even just got it exactly like an actual Danganronpa game. It's incredible. During non-stop debates, your classmates will speak one after another without interruption. This has clearly had so much work put into it. Oh god, it's so good. And we're not even actually into the debate yet. Students may say things that contradict the truth, and it's your job to determine which statements must be broken in order to progress the trial. So, I mean, it looks pretty, pretty much what we'd expect from a Danganronpa game. Look at that picture. Truth cylinder, selecting truth bullet. Influence focus gauge up there, weak spot, time. Weak spot in sort of, I think it's supposed to be green, isn't it? Or is that yellow? I'm a bit colourblind, sometimes I struggle to determine certain shades of colour from one another. Oh god. It's your job to determine which statements must be broken in order to progress the trial. For your ammo, you've been armed with the truth bullets you gathered during the investigation. Truth bullets that are relevant to the debate will be loaded into your truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim your reticle and press the right key to fire. You'll want to aim for words highlighted in gold. Okay, it's gold in this one. Those are the weak spots. A lie or contradiction may be hiding within a weak spot. Carefully compare your classmates' statements to the evidence you have gathered, and use the correct truth bullet to destroy the relevant weak spot. If things are flying by too fast, use the spacebar to concentrate. This will temporarily slow down time. I'll try to speak properly. Speak of time, be sure not to run out of it. That's an automatic game over. Not that someone of your calibre would ever fail. Oh yes, definitely not. I'm a pro Danganronpa gamer. I've played all the others. I definitely never had moments in the others where I fludged it up. Anyway, press the F3 key to revisit these controls whenever you wish. That's all for now. Don't jump to too many conclusions. Well, try not to. Oh, my god, whoa. Okay, that's a very stylish animation. Alright, so we're doing something with the assault rifle first.
The mystery was never about who killed Kara, but how she died.
Is that true? Objection! It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene.
Of course you didn't.
But the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilt that blood? Besides that big, scary gun!
Shit, wrong button. There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I probably should have let them all talk, just so we can see everything, but that was a pretty obvious one. Yep. I mean, I think it kind of gave it away on the...
Stop butting in. You barely investigated the crime scene to begin with.
Wow, he just straight up saying, don't butt in. No, I was about to say, usually when you have a tutorial in Danganronpa where it shows you a picture, it kind of gives away what you're supposed to do. I should have listened to what the rest of them had to say there. You know what? Right. Go on, let's make a rule right here. For other non-stop debates, I'm going to try and make a rule. I'm going to try and remember, let all the characters speak before I start targeting things, just so we can see if any of them say funny lines or anything.
Whoa, what? I searched that place from top to bottom.
Alright, then tell me, how was a fully loaded assault rifle used as the murder weapon?
That's easy. It wasn't.
God dang it.
Obviously, the shooter reloaded their gun to full capacity.
But surely the tablet would say if she had bullet wounds. All it said was stab wounds, didn't it?
Any smart shooter could tell you that. Right, Desmond?
Why are you bringing me into this?
Except, the victim suffered multiple stab wounds to his torso.
There you go. For a second then I was thinking, wait, am I misremembering? Because it did say 28 wounds to the torso, but did it specify that they were stab wounds? Yes, it did.
The gun was fired. Not only should the body have had bullet wounds, but there would be shell casings from the fired bullets. We saw neither at the crime scene.
Damon, you know, you can be a bit haughty towards some of the others. You know, with your, that's not a real talent kind of thing. But actually, you know what? If there's anything to go by, you're putting that brain of yours straight to use. Good points.
Details.
Nah, it'll be significant.
If the gun didn't do that, chicken, what was the actual murder weapon?
A certain knife. The actual murder weapon, that's obvious. It's going to make me select something, is it? Oh. What was the actual murder weapon? Yes, it's going to make me select the knife, yeah?
I got it.
Oh my god, look at the animations! They got everything.
The bloody knife. It's just so blatantly obvious. It was literally right next to the victim's body.
So she bled out, that's the thing. She wasn't killed immediately, though.
Why so Cam's razor gotta ruin everything?
I do like you as a character.
Interesting. Both the knife and the rifle were present at the crime scene, but only the knife was used.
I still stand by my hypothesis at the moment that the rifle was not something that the killer was carrying, but we'll see.
Kind of weird choosing the inferior weapon.
Nothing beats the sting of a sharpened blade.
Okay, nice to know.
If the killer didn't use the rifle, why was it at the crime scene?
Well, my guess is that the victim tried to pick it up because they were trying to use it, but maybe never got the opportunity to fire. Maybe the safety was on, they didn't even realise.
Maybe it came from inside the closet.
Don't see why you'd be storing a gun in a janitor's closet.
Man, I don't know. What if it's not even related to the murder?
Of course it's related. It's covered in blood.
Oh no. Everyone's starting to yell.
This debate is getting out of control fast. I need to say something. Okay? Okay, this time let's let them all just speak, and then we'll... Right, tablet or assault rifle. Okay.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife
That's a
were
consent
next
point.
to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
I bet that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
Okay, top left actually shows how many statements are going to be.
Broken, then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them. And yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Everyone thinks it's about the aesthetic. It's easy to assume the killer was the one holding it. Okay, it's going there, isn't it? Considering the details of the victim's death, I'm inclined to think otherwise. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Damon. The victim had it. Okay.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife
Hang on, let me
were
just
next
check
to the
my
victim's body.
bullet. Oh god, does it not stop in the back? Oh no, it does. God, for a second his voice was still going there. I thought, wait, does it not pause in the background when you go into this? Alright. Chemical burns. So there's nothing in there about the gun. Speckled with blood. Okay, so it'll be something to do with the fact that it's speckled with blood. That'll be it, right?
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
Gotta remember I can slow down
I
time
bet
as well.
that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
I wonder if it is consent
That's
on
like
this
your
one.
opinion, lady.
If the gun was broken,
Can I speed up? Oh, I
they
can.
have
Jesus.
no reason to bring it with them. And yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
So it's got to be an agree point here, right? So I'm agreeing with either Ulysses or Ingrid. Yeah, I think that's it. Also, I noticed you don't get much time, do
Both
you?
the rifle and the knife were
Both the
next
rifle?
to the victim's body.
Okay, I think it's
Yet
Ingrid.
they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
I bet that gun.
This one? No. Bollocks.
You agree? Thanks, sweetheart.
No, she's saying it doesn't even work. There's no reason to believe that it doesn't work, is there?
Wait,
Why did I...
The evidence Damon presented doesn't support that.
Oh my god, they actually voiced this. You see, normally in default Danganronpa, if you get a wrong one like that, they just sort of go, you know, there's just a few lines, but they're not voiced. No, they're actually voicing these lines as well in this one. I need to think this over. Okay, maybe it is...
And the knife.
Oh, it's not that one either.
Yes, we already know both weapons were at the scene of the crime.
Okay, I need to think it through. I'm getting excitable.
Does that change anything about the murder?
God, I'm losing life. Let me just look at those truth bullets again. Can I look at the truth bullets here? No, I can't. I can. What am I doing here?
Both the rifle and the knife.
Okay, let me just check again.
For the knife. Odd choice.
If the gun was broken, are you out of it? That has nothing to do.
Shit, I hit him with the assault rifle, didn't I?
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
God, I'm already failing at the very first trial.
Would have no reason to bring it with them.
The killer.
And yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
It's easy to assume the killer was the one holding the gun, but considering the details of the victim's death... Wait, there isn't like another truth bullet there, is there?
Both the rifle and
no,
the
it is
knife
just these ones.
were next to the victim's
Hold
body.
on. Let me look at this again. Stabbed in the torso 28 times. Victim must have suffered chemical burns to the head. Most notable burns are to the scalp. Cause of death is blood loss. Time of death is unknown. Okay. So there's 2 possible agree points and a contradict point. There's only 3 possibilities here in this in this round. Yes, I know, I'm being an idiot, ladies and gents. You guys, it's probably obvious to you. Next to the victim's body, speckled with blood. So the assault rifle doesn't seem to go with anything. In which case it's got to be the tablet, right? Stabbed in the torso 28 times. So I don't see... Maybe try the tablet on a few things.
Yet they opted for the knife.
At this rate, I'm going to be freaking brute forcing this.
Choice.
Ah, great stuff,
I
Red.
bet that gun didn't even work.
I don't see how that would go with
These
anything.
days, it's all about aesthetics.
I'm going to
over
eliminate
effectiveness.
Ingrid's because I don't think that's...
like your opinion, lady.
I don't think that's got anything
If
to
the
do with that.
gun was broken, then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them. And yet, they did.
Oh my god, I've only got 20 seconds! Holy shit! Holy shit, I gotta do something! Yeah, they're putting me under way big pressure here. Okay, hold
To
on.
reiterate,
No, I'm just gonna try this.
and the
That's
knife.
not it. Crap.
Yeah.
I'm panicking. Shit, I put auto on. Didn't mean to do that. Oh my god, I'm going to fail already. Does it go with this one? No, it's got to be Winona then.
Wait.
I'm really failing this. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, 7 seconds. 7 seconds, 6. Oh my god, it was that one. Jesus. Wow, I nearly failed that. I'm barely into the trial and I nearly failed already.
Stop that thought right there. If we keep assuming the killer had the gun, we'll end up running in circles.
So, I think I'm... Yeah, let's just let him explain it. I'm having a bit of trouble understanding specifically how that tablet one goes to the point that Winona is making. Because the tablet just sets out details of the victim. It doesn't say anything about who was holding the gun or anything like that. There's probably like one little detail in it. I just need to think a bit laterally, probably.
What? You think the killer was unarmed?
It's not what he's saying at all.
They were definitely armed. With a knife. The reason they didn't use a gun is probably because they never had it to begin with.
But then, who did?
Well, it'll be the victim.
Easy. The victim.
Yeah.
Whoa, the dummy had the gun?
No, the person who the dummy represents had the gun.
It wasn't the killer. It has to be her. She must have brought it to the closet. She was probably carrying it before the murder, but dropped it when the killer attacked her.
Oh, I guess that makes some sense.
Complete sense.
You're just hammering that point down, Damon.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Aren't you overlooking something?
Okay, speak.
Huh?
The victim was stabbed from the front, meaning she could have seen the killer coming, correct?
Is this where the chemical burns come in? Because it said it was to her head and scalp. Jesus. Did someone throw acid on her to blind her? Is that it?
If so, why didn't she shoot them?
A stealth attack! I bet the killer memorized her AI movements.
Cassidy, it's not a video game.
The girl must have been killed before she had the chance.
Well, it
to
is a video game,
defend
you
herself.
guys just don't realise it.
That's not technically true. There's evidence of a struggle between the victim and the killer.
Specifically evidence that shows the victim attempted to fight back. Oh, is it something to do with the hands? I'm guessing. This one? You can actually see the question as well. What proves that the victim was able to wound the killer? Is it the hands?
This is it.
Okay. Do tell.
We found dry blood under the victim's fingernails, which implies she was clawing at her attacker.
Okay. Interesting. I see. So I was off on a bit of a tangent there, thinking that the assault rifle maybe already had blood on it, and that's why it was under her fingernails. Okay, there's a simpler explanation. Occam's razor coming back in once again.
Of course, no explanation is definitive without photo proof of the killer, but I'm confident this is what happened.
Why would you resort to scratching when you're carrying a gun?
Did something
Blinded.
get in the way of her using it?
Blinded, I'm guessing.
Wonder if that killer stole it from her.
She should have seen or heard him coming from the hallway at the very least.
Why do you think she was in the hallway?
That's where the fight happened, right?
I think you're getting ahead of yourself. How can we be sure the fight happened there?
A good question.
Maybe the fight started in the hallway, and after it ended, her body was dragged into the closet.
Okay. I mean, just using default Danganronpa logic here, if the body was moved, usually there would be evidence of that. There'd be a blood trail or something, wouldn't there? Or is that what? No. Or maybe the bleach was used for two? No? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Shouldn't there have been streaks of blood on the floor? Or in the hallway?
Yeah. That.
Drag marks? Can't say I saw any.
It was merely a jest. No need to take it so seriously.
Instead of dragging the victim, what if the killer carried her?
Stab wounds, though, mate. She died from blood loss, so she must have been, you know, even if she didn't die immediately, she would have been bleeding like crazy. Surely there'd be blood around.
I don't know why they would want to do that, but it would explain the lack of drag marks.
But then, wouldn't the killer have been covered in
blood? Aye. It should have gotten everywhere. Those wounds were brutal. A few inches deep, I reckon. Carrying her would have done nothing to stop the blood flow.
Indeed. That's what I'm thinking. God, your voice actor is really good.
Good point.
She was obviously killed in the closet. That's where the blood was?
Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry for derailing the conversation.
That's alright. You know, in a situation like this, you've got to explore all the possibilities.
Moving on.
And eliminate the ones that are unlikely.
That fight. The victim had the gun, but she was overpowered?
If she wanted to, she could have just, you know.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
That's where the acid comes in, the bleach. There must be something we're missing, something that explains how the victim was overpowered. And I know I'm the only one who can figure that out. Oh, hello. Alright. Time to talk about the agree points. Interesting. The picture is Ingrid saying, I bet the gun didn't even work. Is that really the thing that, No, it's probably... That's from the previous non-stop debates. That's probably not going to be it, is it? Dang it! I thought I could meta-game the system, but... Alright, I'll talk about agree points. During the last non-stop debate, you would have noticed that some phrases were blue. Bet you weren't expecting that, huh? No, I played Danganronpa before. Those phrases are called agree points. They are the counterpart to weak spots. As the name would suggest, if an agree point aligns with the evidence you've gathered, you can use your truth bullets to prove it correct. Simply aim your reticle at it, as you would with a weak spot, and shoot. In your pursuit of the truth, you must be prepared to corroborate your classmates' testimonies. When it would be wise to do so is for you to figure out. Good luck! Let's do it. God, I love that non-stop debate. Begin animation. What do we got? Bucket, tablet, victim tabs. I'm going to assume it's the bucket, because that's the only thing we've not talked about.
The killer pulled a fast one and knocked the gun out of her hand.
By the sounds of it, those two did have a crazy tussle.
But she still carried a gun. So why didn't she shoot?
I bet that girl didn't even see them coming.
That could be it.
Maybe she thought the killer was her friend? I know I wouldn't hurt a friend.
She tried clawing their eyes out.
Thank you, Kai, for that. Why did the victim not shoot her attacker? Okay, I think it's agree with Jean with this one. With the bucket. Everyone's got a theory, but who has the actual answer? Well, let's see.
I bet that girl didn't even...
Oh, what? No, it's not.
Appreciate the support, but you're not talking any sense, mate.
Okay. Oh shit, I've put it on auto again. Now even the pirate's scolding me. What's that? God, I'm doing terribly in here. Hang on, I need to look at the bucket. The bucket.
Pulled a fast one.
Bucket found lying inside the janitor closet. Interior of the bucket reads a bit. Okay, there's nothing in that actually says. Is there about? Oh, it'll be the tablet, of course, because about the burns, eyes and scalp. That'll be it. Okay, it is agree with Jean, but it's with the tablet, isn't it? I bet that's what it is. Okay, hold on.
And knocked the gun out of her hand.
I think I see it. I see.
I bet that girl didn't even...
Got it.
I got it.
Hell yes. You see, some days I'm a bit of a Dumbo. I'll give you that. Other days, however, I do get
John
it.
actually has a point. The victim probably couldn't see what was going on. According to the tablet, she suffered chemical burns to the face and eyes. That sort of injury would have effectively blinded her.
Okay, so probably what I was doing there was I was getting a bit ahead of myself. I think what the game wanted me to do there was first establish that there were burns to the eyes, and now they'll probably talk about the bucket and where that comes in and the bleach and things like that. Yeah, I was probably just getting ahead. I'm getting too far ahead. That's what I'm doing, isn't it?
Also, inside the janitor's closet, there was a large empty bottle of bleach. That's probably the chemical that caused the burns.
Blinded? With bleach? That's horrible.
All that pain, yet she still managed to fight back.
Actually, it kind of makes sense. Because if you think about the way she fight back, just clawing, she's probably just flailing wildly with her hands. It probably wasn't like a coordinated defense or anything like that.
She sure put up a struggle. Without a gun, I guess the next best thing was her hand.
Remember, she wasn't punching or trying to hit, she was just clawing wildly, probably.
So the killer was definitely the one who blinded her.
Indeed. Knowing she had a gun, he blinded her to make her less dangerous. Then, when he pinned her against the door and stabbed her, she tried to retaliate.
Until eventually dying from her wounds.
Jeez, this is brutal. Couldn't they have toned down the violence?
Oh yes, could they not have reduced this from an 18 to a PG-13? Isn't that right, Cassidy?
The past is in the past, and we can't change that. All we can do is solve her untimely death, eh?
I mean, by the sounds of it, we've already figured it out, right?
Well, not entirely,
No,
but...
not
Yes.
yet.
Seriously?
But we've already discussed so much!
Oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry, Toshiko. Once you get into the later chapters, these are probably going to be very big trials.
We know she was armed. We know she was blinded. We figured out how she died. How is this not a closed case?
Well, there's still that aspect of how she was blinded.
Please understand, I'm proud of everyone's hard work so far.
Well, you putting on a teacher hat there?
Because of you, we're one step closer to bringing the victim justice.
This was never about the dummy.
However, we should think of this case like an equation. Knowing how it works is only half the struggle. Now we need to figure out why.
Like I said, once I get to the end of the prologue, I'll give my thoughts on sort of each character. And, you know, hopefully I'll remember everyone. But, yeah, you know, there's definitely some real standout characters so far. Wolfgang's an interesting one.
As in the motive?
Mm-hmm. You're on the right track.
You speak like we have any information on the killer. The man's a stock image. He doesn't even have a name. What are we supposed to ascertain from that? That he's a non-character?
Do you suppose the culprit is Mara, potentially? Or maybe Tozo himself, and they're going to reveal at the very end?
Not every answer will be written down for you. Sometimes actions speak louder than...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the phone!
Okay, you just butt in.
Grace?
Whoa, what? Since when was Grace back to normal?
Right now, soybean. Watching you guys try to solve this mystery has been like watching a dumpster catch on fire. I guess all that smoke must have clouded your vision, 'cause there's a big-ass elephant in this room.
An elephant in the room?
That's giving us too much credit.
So the killer incapacitated that girl. She had a gun, it makes total sense. Problem is, you've yet to explain how he used the bleach.
That is a good point. We will talk about that now.
I sort of assumed he spilled it on the victim.
Bucket.
Right. He just tipped the bottle over her.
It's interesting, though, that the bucket is in the janitor's closet. Isn't it? Because I'm trying to piece together in my head what would have been the angle of attack. Like, where would the killer have approached from? So the way the bucket's positioned, I'm sort of... I don't know. Maybe the killer was hiding in the closet and they, like, had the bleach in the bucket and then they just threw the bucket, maybe?
That bottle is where the bleach came from, sure. But I doubt the bottle itself was involved in the murder.
You understand what I'm trying to say. You know, we've got to sort of piece together, like, for example, where was the killer stood in relation to the victim? Where did they attack from? Things like that.
When we found it, it was neatly ordered on a shelf near the back of the closet. The gun and knife were just thrown on the floor. So it's weird this weapon was handled so differently.
Do you think the killer just poured the contents of that bottle into something else?
Diana, you're on the right lines.
Sure. Before the actual murder took place, I'd say.
And what is this something else? Go on. Explain it before this dumpster turns molten.
Grace, you sound like you're pulling a Mew Iruma on us. Because you'll remember in V3 how Mew would stand there saying, oh, this golden brain's got it all figured out. But, you know, just for the benefit of everyone else, you guys need to explain it. When clearly she doesn't have a clue. She's really stubborn about this, but I get the point she's trying to make. Before we move on from this subject, we need to make sure its logic is completely sound. Alright then, let's put out this fire. I love David's sprite there, where he's just sort of hunched over, he's like, yeah, I got this. I know what's going on here. It's the bucket, it's got to be the bucket, right?
Well, if the original bottle's been emptied, where'd the bleach go?
Into another bottle?
Nope.
What about a container?
Could be in
There
agreement
were
with
a
that.
bunch in the closet.
I bet the killer had a secret water gun.
No.
So when the victim came in, pow! He squirted her in the eyes.
Hey! The ink vanishes when the battle's over.
Call the fire brigade, Grace.
Oh, jeez. To inflict those chemical burns, the killer had to use something, but what? Well, I think it's agree with Ingrid.
Container. There were a bunch in the closet.
Crap. I just went over it.
Grace.
Okay, to inflict those chemical burns, the killer had to use something. It's got to be the bucket.
Well,
Let's try not to skip over Ingrid's line this time.
What about a
Boom!
I got it.
Okay, got it first time that time. I'm not that dumb. It gave me an easy one.
She's correct. The killer put the chemicals in a bucket. Or, more specifically, the same bucket we found at the crime scene. After all, it reeked of bleach. If the killer didn't use it to transport bleach, what else did they use it for? Personal cleaning? I doubt it.
Yo, that makes sense!
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Okay, cool. So, how'd the killer use that bucket to spill bleach in the victim's eyes?
Yeah, so this is interesting because this will tell us a bit more about the setup. Did they just hold the bucket and just try and like throw it with its contents? Did they maybe put it on a shelf at an angle where it would fall down?
It would be a fairly heavy bucket, so
Okay.
it's unlikely he threw it on her.
So we were suggesting maybe it was placed on a shelf. Because again, I'm just thinking about if you visualise the crime scene from what we saw of it, the bucket, like the angle it was lying on the ground. I'm just trying to think, how would it end up in that angle? Because you remember, for example, Trigger Happy Havoc Case 4, where you had the protein can lying on the ground. It's all significant. You got to think about these things.
She'd shoot him before he even had the chance. Use your brain, mate.
Of course, my apologies.
It's a good question. How was the killer able to get a hefty bucket of chemicals into the victim's eyes? Especially without her knowing. It's got to be a trap. It's got to be a setup. Must be some kind of clue missing here. Think, Damon, think.
Even if he did manage to splash her, the girl should have sustained intense facial burns. However, aside from her eyes, her face was relatively untouched.
So it did say in the truth bullet, the tablet truth bullet, burns to the eyes. Did it not say the scalp? So the scalp would be top of the head rather than the face. Okay, that, I'm assuming, lends a bit of credence to the idea that it was a trap, it was a setup. The bucket maybe was placed high and was then tipped and fell on her.
Well, if you check the tablet, it
Aha!
says she had burns to the scalp, too.
See, memory's serving me correctly. Thank you, Jean.
Burns to the scalp? How does that work? Unless those chemicals came from above?
There you go. I got it figured. Above. Yeah, that's right, above.
Did the killer somehow suspend the bucket in the air? Maybe there was a mechanism that made it tip over when someone entered the room.
Or it could be simpler, actually, than I'm thinking. Because I'm sort of picturing it on top of a shelf. Maybe it was just on top of the door. You know, classic old friggin' prank. Put like a bucket of water on the door, except in this case, it's a bucket of chemicals placed on top of the door's left slightly ajar, so when you push the door open to get in, it causes it to fall.
Where's this bucket supposed to be again?
I mean, that could be an explanation, because we haven't found anything like strings or ropes, anything that could be used to like pull the bucket down, anything like that. So my assumption here is that however this is set up, it's got to be set up in a way that doesn't require any complex triggering mechanisms. And the best thing I could think of there would be the door, right? Because obviously the door, there's a reason why you wouldn't need the killer to be present, or, you know, directly present there in order to trigger that, because the victim would just trigger it themselves.
Above. Which, well, could mean anything.
Yeah, use your brain.
Was the killer hiding above the door frame?
Are we going there? Am I right?
There's no way they were up there. There's nothing for them to sit or hold on to. Not to mention they couldn't have stabbed her from up there.
And if there's no place for the killer to sit, then there's no place for the bucket to sit.
Unless you take into account the size difference.
Yes.
The space above the entrance might not be able to support a person, but it could still support something as small as a bucket.
I think I'm on the right lines.
And that thing supporting the bucket?
Killer wanted two things: for the bucket to be above the victim, and for it to spill on her when she entered the room. In other words, he needed to bounce the bucket, but on what? On the door. The door itself, right? What's this? Uh-oh. Okay, I thought it was going to be like a Hangman's Gambit or something. Yeah, door. I'm correct, right?
I got it. I don't know how we overlooked this, but I've got it. The killer just balanced the bucket on the door.
And they used the stepladder, presumably, to get up there to place it, right?
Like in those water bucket pranks people film?
Exactly. When the victim came into the room, she pushed open the door and caused the bucket to fall on her. This would make it so she couldn't shoot back or even get a chance to see her assailant. When the bucket hit the ground, it probably rolled away. That'd explain why we found it a couple feet from the victim.
Yeah. And, you know, feasibly, the mouth the bucket could be facing, because if you think about the shape of the bucket, the way it would roll, makes sense, right?
That is a possibility, yes.
It sounds like the best conclusion.
There's just one problem. How was the killer able to reach that high?
Cassidy, it's your time to shine.
Unless they were abnormally tall, it'd be difficult to place something on top of that door.
Well, let's use that as our next point of discussion. How did the killer set up this trap?
To bounce that bucket on the door, the killer would need to reach pretty high. Was there anything at the crime scene they could have used as a boost? If I can answer that, it'll add further credibility to my theory. Yes, stepladder. Oh, yeah, spot selection. Here it is.
This is it.
Got it. Simple, straightforward.
There was a stepladder hiding behind the closet door.
Sorry, let me just adjust my microphone.
Probably use that. After climbing it, they could position the bucket right on top of the door.
Figures.
My precious stepladder? You think the bad guy used my super duper obvious stepladder?
Match point. Occam's razor.
Yes, it appears our killer didn't care much for subtlety. No matter how obvious it seems, it's the only answer that makes sense.
It was the only knickknack of its kind, too. If there's something else that killer could have used, it's escaping me.
I see. It makes sense with what we've got so far. But I'm not done yet. I still have one last question for you apes.
Grace, you are Miu-Iruma, but without the humour.
Please just leave us alone. Oh, I'm so tired.
Hey, don't be like that. Grace may be loud, but her questions have really helped our discussion.
Anyway, what was the killer doing when that bucket poured onto the girl's head?
Good question. So if we're going with the idea that the body wasn't dragged, because there's no evidence that it was, that means the victim has to have been attacked right at that point, I would assume, just after the bucket's fallen on her while she's still reeling by the door. In which case, I would assume the killer would have to be somewhere very close. So they could have been hiding in the storage closet? Or maybe in the hallway? It would have to be somewhere in close proximity, I think.
He obviously didn't just stand there and observe.
I have to agree, they must have been hiding somewhere, waiting for her to arrive. Somewhere nearby, I'd assume. Oh, is it spot selection? Where was the killer hiding? Outside the janitor closet, well, it can't be on top of the door frame, behind the door, in the back. Could be in the back, because it's dark, isn't it? Because we couldn't see the other three characters in there. Is that what it is? Am I on the right lines? Let's try it.
I got it.
Yeah. Here we are.
I've got it. The killer was hiding in the back of the closet.
I'm just assuming whenever it gives the, the actual graphic, like, I got the answer, that means you've got it right. Because that was always the case, wasn't it, in regular Danganronpa?
If he was pressed up against the furthest shelf and facing the entrance, there'd be a diagonal path between him and his victim.
True.
I say diagonal, because that's the only way you can make a direct charge forward. Also, when the victim entered the room, she would have been standing with her back to the hallway, right outside the killer's range. That's why the stab wounds were only made to her chest.
Yes, that too. That is a good point, Damon. You gotta think about what side of the body the wounds are on, which tells you where the killer must have been stood in relation to the direction the victim was facing. And that tells us which angle they must have come from.
Creating the crime scene we found! Great job, guys! We're actually doing this!
That was the last mystery, right? We must have put everything together now.
Even if it's all fake, I feel really bad for this victim.
It's an ugly sight, but she's no victim.
Huh?
Do tell.
Well, technically she is, but let's be real. The girl was carrying a gun. She probably provoked the killer, and they killed her in self-defense. It's a clear-cut case of the hunter becoming the hunted, no?
I feel like that's based on a very shaky foundation. I mean, maybe, but there's no evidence it was fired. We don't know if the victim was threatening anyone.
That's no excuse.
What?
There's no justifying murder. Killing a woman is the worst thing a man could do.
You're emanating a sizable amount of emotional tension. Are you okay?
There's no excuse. There never was an excuse. 28 stab wounds. No girl, no person should ever suffer Kara's fate.
Here comes the lawyer.
Wait, who's Kara?
God dang it.
It was the victim's name! Didn't anyone read the tablet?
Oh, he pissed.
I agree with you, dude, but you don't have to shout out your point.
Oi, what's all this about? We've figured out the case. Stop trying to drag it on.
No. We're not finished here.
Huh?
There's no murder without a proper motive. We need to discuss why Kara died.
We don't have any information on that, though, do we?
I am not going this far for a fictional murder case.
It's not fictional.
We aren't looking for a murderer. We're looking for answers. Which we have.
Do you turn in a half-finished exam, Winona? An essay without its conclusion? This isn't about efficiency, this is about being right. Or do you, a supposed entrepreneur, not value integrity?
What the hell?
Okay, we're getting a bit tense now.
Let's just talk about the motive. There's no harm in doing that, right?
Well, what was the motive? Was the killer fighting for their life? Or were they going out of their way to murder?
Do we have a way of figuring that out?
Maybe the gun freaked him out.
If I was in the killer's shoes, I'd definitely be nervous. Thing is, while acting out of self-defense is possible, since when does it look like this?
Given the severity, I'd liken it to a crime of passion.
Something done on impulse?
What if they were frightened? The spooky thing might have set them off big time.
I mean, the thing is, like, the fact that they positioned a bucket on top of the door makes me think that it's premeditated. This was planned out. This wasn't like just a spur-of-the-moment thing.
That's wrong. There's no way this was done in self-defense.
Is that what you're thinking too, Wolfgang?
No matter what excuse the killer uses, it doesn't change the fact they have blood on their hands.
Yo, bud, you seem a little pressed.
Silence! I won't allow this!
Whoa, things are getting emotional. Well, you've only been using logical arguments to further the trial so far. Now might be a good time to change your approach. Introducing the Pathos Mechanic? What? Is this something unique to this fan game? During non-stop debates, the emotionally charged commentary of your classmates will appear as purple text. These comments are called pathos statements. You can absorb these statements by hovering over them with your reticle and pressing E or left trigger. Or E, I'm on a keyboard. Pathos statement will then be loaded into your truth cylinder. Find a weak spot that is directly contradicted by the pathos statement and fire. If successful, you'll make a powerful emotional argument to counteract your opponents. Stay on the lookout for these statements. While you'll always be able to advance the trial using pure logic, emotional arguments can lead to some unique conversations. Okay, so they might not always be necessary to advance the trial, but it might be interesting to try and find them. I guess it's kind of like the perjury points in V3, is it? Sometimes you get the option, even though you don't necessarily need to take it. Okay. God, I'm going to have to jump cut soon, because it's nearly 1:45 in the afternoon. Alright, tablet, bloody knife and assault rifle, but...
To kill Kara so easily and without restraint.
Let's listen to what they say.
There is no way to justify this.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm? This was the sadistic killing of one of humanity's brightest!
We shouldn't make a lot of assumptions about the killer's morals. This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason to trust you if you have no proof.
So says the ultimate liar.
So do I need to lift lawyer's intuition? Was this murder justified, or was it truly unforgivable? I feel like I have an obligation to find the truth. God, I have no idea.
To kill.
There is no way to snake it. You expect me to stick with the kill? We should have made a about the killers. This could have been so. We don't even know that just the crime scene. This killer deserves to be brought to the. How can we do that? There's no
Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. Shit. Oh, what?
You have no proof.
Well, I was pressing E on it, but it wasn't doing anything. Huh. Oh god, I keep putting it on auto by accident. Hang on, let me try that again. I'm painfully aware I'm running out of time.
Killer dead to be brought.
How can we do that? There's
Oh, what? Wait, what? I was pressing...
Liar.
Hold on. I may be doing this completely wrong. Hang on, let me just try and figure this out. This is usually how it goes in Danganronpa. A new mechanic comes in, you have to try and figure it out.
do that. There's no reason.
I'm pressing E and I'm trying... Oh. I'm trying left mouse button, it's not doing anything. Hang on. Change bullet, fire bullet. Hold, cycle bullet. Absorb empathy. What? Alright, so I have to hold it? Okay. Right. Okay, this is a strange one, but let's try it again.
Kara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
Let's just keep trying.
Chill pill,
Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. What am I doing?
You expect?
There we go. That's more like it.
This could have been self. Do that.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, it's definitely not... No, no, never mind. It just takes a second.
If you have no proof.
Hang on, so can I look at... So lawyer's intuition.
So says the ultimate lie.
What am I firing this at, though? Empathy bullet. Do I fire this at what Wolfgang is saying? Was this murder justified, or was it truly unforgivable? Let's see. Obligation to find the truth.
To kill Kara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
I assume I need to fire it
Take
at
a chill pill, man.
a blue statement?
You expect me to stay calm? This was the sadistic kill. Humanity's brightest.
I
No.
don't see how that relates to his point.
This is a strange one. Interesting. Okay, so we have to pick that up,
kill
but...
Kara.
So it's not that one. So I'm going to run out of time again.
About the kill in self-defense.
You don't even... Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead, deserves to be brought to...
Do that. There's no reason to...
Go, get it, come on. I'm holding E, but it's not...
If
Oh
you
god,
have
what?
No proof.
I was holding E then, but it didn't seem to be doing anything. Huh, that's weird. Hold on, let me try that again. Sorry, we're going to be here a while, ladies and gents. Don't want to run out of time.
If you have
Can you not
no
pick it up while
proof.
you're slowing down? Is that a thing? Okay, I'm going to assume you can't pick it up when it's slowed down. Maybe that's it. Maybe I need to just let it play at normal speed.
You don't...
How can we do that? There's no reason to trust you.
Oh,
If
got
you
it. There we go.
have no
God, it's a bit weird.
So says the ultimate liar.
Right. So who are we firing at? So we're not firing at Wolfgang. Maybe it's either got to be Ava. It could be Ava. Maybe shoot the thing where she says self-defense. Maybe that's it. The only other possibility would be what Winona says about the crime scene. Let's see. It's one or the other.
The killing of one of...
Make a lot of assumptions about the killer's morals.
Okay, she's going to say it here, isn't she?
Could have been self-defense.
I don't think so. No, it's not that one.
I'm glad you agree, but how does this...
Okay, so...
To kill Kara so easily. To be...
How can we do that? There's no reason to trust you.
Got it.
If you have no proof.
So says the ultimate
So she actually
liar.
says no reason to trust you. Maybe that's what we're contradicting. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Hold on. Let me see. God, I'm running out of time.
So easy and...
The killer's morals.
You don't
deserves to be brought to justice.
Okay, let's see this one. I think,
how
isn't
can
it?
we do that? There's no
Oh, what?
If you have
What? Did I miss? Oh, fuck. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna fail. I think I missed. I think I hit the white text. Oh, son of a bitch. Dang it.
There's no reason to trust you.
I can easily pick it up. I've figured that out.
So says the
I've run out of time.
ultimate liar.
Dang it. I missed my chance. I can't get anyone to listen to me. This case will never be solved. Damn it, we got a game over. Continue. Continue. Still turn this debate around. Oh, thank God, it did my health.
To kill Kara so easily.
Okay, I've got the thing, though. I think I missed. I'm not sure. Right.
But how can there's no
Right, this one. Got it. Okay, it was that one. Okay, we're trusting Wolfgang's intuition as a lawyer, are we?
Expertise shouldn't be overlooked here. If there's anyone to believe, it's the lawyer.
Interesting. This is an interesting mechanic, though. God, that took me a while. First, it was because I couldn't quite get the hang of pulling the statement. I think it's like you need to be very quick. You can't have it slowed down. I don't think it works when it's slowed down. So you got to wait for it to come up, and you got to be real quick. You got to grab hold of it because it takes a few seconds to actually register. So you really got to time it to perfection, actually sucking it up. But then it's just figuring out what you're doing. Okay, so I was overthinking what the answer was there. I see.
Say what?
Wolfgang has spent his life in the courtroom and on the crime scene. He'd understand the criminal mind in ways we can't possibly imagine. He was even emotionally invested in a murder case he'd never seen before. If his lawyer's intuition tells us that the killer was in the wrong, then we have no reason to disagree. We're all ultimates for a reason. We need to trust in talent.
Damn, Damon! You're having your Makoto don't lose hope now kind of moment.
Well spoken. If Wolfgang is adamant about the killer's intentions, we should have faith in him.
I mean, I do feel like there is a kind of reasoning to support him in terms of, like I said, the bucket being positioned on top of the door. I suggest premeditation. Doesn't suggest self-defense to me.
Yeah, Wolfgang's clearly trying his best for us.
Let's trust in the lawyer and his bargain bin buddy.
Damn it! Just say that about Damon, why don't you?
Hey! If it means going home, then new guy's convinced me.
Right on! Team Wolfgang all the way!
Thank you all for your support.
Well, Eva, do you still disagree?
Even if I did, it's not worth pursuing.
Does this mean we're done here? Hey! We're disembodied voice! We've figured out your stupid case. Now let us leave!
You don't give a damn.
Oh, you're finally done. In all honesty, I stopped paying attention a long time ago.
What? We only went through this case because of you.
Slight delay to his line, but...
Silly me, I have a short attention span. So, just for my own benefit, why don't you summarize the information you've learned?
In a closing argument, is that what we're going to do? Well, we'll do that in a second, but first I need to save and I need to jump cut, because it's nearly 2 o'clock and I still haven't had any lunch. 1 second, all. I see. Holes in the fence roundabout. Can I turn that searchlight off if I distract his attention over that? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Go, get it! Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, come on! Get it! Ooh! No! 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 Oh, you can't do this to me. Get my torch out, you bastard! Get out. Stop it. I need light. I need to find where I'm going. Fuck off. Where am I going? Oh, I'm gonna be out of stamina at this rate. Shit! Just get out of here, get out.